fly-in fly-out FIFO work practices in Australia occur amongst various professions primarily associated within the resources industry as well as medical and related health services. Following the recession of the 1980s, Australia has experienced a resources boom that has seen thousands of families impacted by FIFO work. The FIFO lifestyle often sees workers on a scheduled roster flying to remote locations with hundreds of other men and women in fundamental workers to stay in plenarily serviced accommodation, working long-hour days. While working in the mining and resource sector is financially rewarding, the type of lifestyle it leads is far different than the life workers have at home. As a result of this type of work, there is an impact on individuals, couples and family units that can account for the emotional health and well-being seen in workers. Background of mining in Australia. Australia is one of the leading mining nations in the world, a country that is abundant in natural resources such as mineral sands, brown coal, nickel, zinc, lead, and uranium. World economic growth has intensified in recent years, predominantly in China and India. This has incremented demand for mineral products. Ecumenical, together with reinforced methods of derivation, processing and transportation, have influenced this increase significantly. As a result, Australia's total annual mining production has more than doubled in the 20 years up to 2008. There are approximately 365 operating mines in Australia, and is for the employment of up to 269,000 people. The mining and resource industry contributes $121.5 billion to the economy, thus plays a significant role to Australia's wealth. Effects of mental health in workers. Mental health has been described by the World Health Organization, WHO, as a state of well-being in which every individual realizes his or her potential, can cope with normal stresses of life, can work productively and fruitfully, and is able to make a contribution to her or his community. 2014. It is acknowledged that people working in rural and remote mining and resource operations confront psychological and emotional demands that will create unique challenges for both men and women. The key mental health issues across the resource mining sector includes feelings such as isolation and loneliness, due to the remoteness of living on site and from family and friends. Stress, anxiety and depression are major factors which are likely to influence employment performance and antisocial conduct. This is predicted to get worse for some people during the transition period from home to work, and can potentially increase the risk of self-harm and suicide. Types of stress experience in FIFO workers. Along with the stresses of being away from home, other stresses FIFO workers experience include on-site physical exertion and fatigue, on-site extreme heat, staying hydrated, adapting to night shifts and between day and night shifts, job insecurity, following on-site safety rules, transitioning back home, maintaining home, i.e., gardens, bills, during work absences, minimal communication and/or internet access on some sites. Factors influencing FIFO mental health and suicide. Employment, living and working conditions, physical health, fatigue and sleep problems, family imbalance, substance misuse, financial issues, domestic violence, sexual health issues, male dominance in workplace culture, non-effective coping strategies, challenges of the FIFO work system. Rosters and fatigue. The FIFO lifestyle is based upon a roster, typically a fortnight on and 1 week off. However, more remote mining sites require month-on and month-off rosters, attributable to the incremented time and costs of flying to and from remote areas. As expected, FIFO workers are implemented work long shifts, usually ranging from 12 up to 18-hour shifts. As reported by Meredith, Rush and Robinson, 2014. It is notable that the longer work length and time on leave has more deleterious effects on the worker's well-being and can lead to a vulnerable mental state. Physical health allows for a positive mental health as well as the capability to handle the demands of FIFO work. The length of 12-hour or more shifts with short breaks make it arduous for workers to relax and involve themselves in effective coping strategies such as getting enough sleep, exercising and socializing. In dealing with daily stresses. In conclusion, occupational fatigue may occur as frequent recovery is confined. Workplace culture. On-site mining workplace culture is considered a problem in reinforcing positive mental health and seeking support behavior. Unfortunately, many workers do not seek formal help due to the general outlook held by the wider population of fear and stigma in seeking support for mental health issues. Male dominancy significantly contributes to the mining workplace culture, where females may experience tensions fitting within the FIFO civilization. The masculine culture consequently affects the relationships with other workers. Negative feelings suppression, a bullying behavior that is a negative subside of poor mental health. Commendations include creating a fair and just workplace environment for both men and women. For instance, the Australian Mines and Metal Sodality are taking action to improve the amount of women to 20% by 2020. Workers who do not seek emotional support may experience adverse impacts and result in poor work output and increased isolation. An organizational culture is vital. In order to propose the relevant approaches for workers in acknowledging when to seek help. Personal relationships. Over the past 20 years, FIFO had become a prevalent mining industry practice. However, on the subject matter there is a scarcity of Australian research. According to Arnold, 1995, studies resulted in FIFO being problematic for some families. In an analysis of the impacts on the lifestyle and families of workers, the Australian FIFO personnel indicate the benefits of leisure, access to services and facilities as well as friends and extended family from relatively high earnings from working in the industry. However, observation conducted by Gillies et al. 1997 involved surveying 15 Australian FIFO operations and out of a study sample of 227 employees. A total of 30% employees stated their families were not in favor of the FIFO lifestyle. Additionally, results included 25% of employees believed their family relationships had been earnestly disadvantaged by the FIFO employment. The structure of rostered schedules and continuous cycles such as 4 weeks away and 1 week home. The long separations and short homecomings provoke an increased amount of conflict between work and home. In accordance to Talkington, Larkins and Sengupta, 2011, miners reported that when they were away their partner described being upset or lonely. The stresses of dealing with busy roles, such as parenting alone, the challenge of changing routines, and having to managing practical tasks, e.g., mechanical repairs, which fell outside their normal role. Quote, 2011. As a result, the family structure is altered, especially for those with younger children. References